Hello people, today we shall see about how to develop and deploy a very simple Java application on Google App Engine. Before we start off, all you need to do is install the latest JDK, any version of 1.5 and above, and download and install your Eclipse Helios for EE developers. Download your Google plugins for this Eclipse. Once you've completed these three steps, you're ready to go. Now I'll open my Eclipse where I've already downloaded the plugins. You can see these 4 buttons after downloading the plugins for your Eclipse. One is the Google Development Tools, the other is the Speed Tracer, and the third one is Deploy App Engine project. Now we shall start right away to create a new project. You can click on this Google Development Tools and choose New Web Application Project, or go to File, New Web Application Project. Make sure you give a project name and a package name. Please uncheck Google Web Toolkit and please make sure that Use Google App Engine is checked, and say Finish. Now your project has been created in the Project Explorer. Expand the project. You can see 2 directories named src and var. Expand them. Now your package is been created. Expand the package. You can see a Java file named myprojectservlet.java. We'll come back to this later. Expand var file and expand web.inf. Basically your var is nothing but web application archives. This is going to contain your server-side utility classes, static web contents, and the client server classes. They are arranged in a particular hierarchy, as in web.inf you're going to have this library and the app engine web.xml, which is the app engine configuration file, and the web.xml, which is the configuration file. I shall explain what these 2 files do to your application later. Now let's go to index.html. Let's go to index.html right away. This is basically a HTML file where it says hello app engine, and here it's calling something called my project. My project is nothing but your servlet name. So this page is basically your front end. When you click this hyperlink my project, it's going to call your servlet called my project. So let's go to my project servlet, which is the actual servlet that's being called. So this is inside your mypack, so it's declared under package mypack. So basically a servlet always contains 2 methods, doGet or doPost, depending upon the type of submit you give. So it's going to take 2 arguments, HTTP request and HTTP response, and it throws IO exceptions. This is the signature of doGet, and here with the response object you set the content type of the response to text or plain. You get a writer here, writer object, using getWriter method, and invoke the function called println and say hello world. So which means when this servlet is going to get called, it's going to print hello world in the client area. Now let's go to web.xml. Web.xml is basically a configuration file. It's called web app deployment descriptor. The web server receives a request and it has to know which servlet to call. So for this configuration file is used. It's basically an XML file. So go to design, go to source and you can see for each servlet, a servlet element and a servlet mapping element is being created. So in servlet name, you need to give your servlet name. In servlet class element, you need to specify your package dot your class name, your servlet class name. And in servlet mapping, you need to give the servlet name again, and the URL pattern says /my project, which means when you specify /my project, it's going to call your servlet. And here there's welcome file list element, where you specify a file which is rendered as soon as your application is opened. So here, when my project is running, it's going to render index.html as your home page. Let's go to appengine web.xml. Appengine web.xml. This is also a configuration file, and your app engine needs additional configuration file. So here we have appengine web.xml. It's placed in web.inf along with web.xml. You need to specify an application name here in the application element and specify a version number. In case you make modifications in your application, you can simply name it a version 2 or version 3 and so on. You can make different versions of your application and roll back to the older version if you want to. So this is about appengine web.xml. So now let's go right away to run the project. Right click on the project and say debug as web application. Below is the console that you can see. After it's done, it says the server is running at HTTP localhost 8080. So open your browser and say localhost 8888. So it says hello app engine and available servlets are my project. On clicking on this, our servlet is going to get called. It says hello world. Now let's make small modifications in our project. Expand the project, go to my project servlet and say, in case you want to make some changes, like, hey dude, what's up? Now important thing is, you need to terminate. You need to remove the launches by pressing the buttons over here. Again, right click on the project, say debug as web application. Say OK. Now when the server is running and is ready to run our application, open your browser and say HTTP localhost 8888. Hello app engine, it says. Now go click on my project